on the VinceEverettEllison show. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of these immigrants and how they're fighting and raising all kind of sand in the street and how Trump needs to put them all in one big bus and send them all back home. We're going to talk about that today on the VinceEverettEllison show. All right, let's get this thing started. I told you. Democrats hate America. I mean, I ain't talking about dislike America. I'm talking about hate America. Man, we got an invasion. Joe Biden opened up the gates of America and let 15 million people, some say 30, into this country. Just open it up. Just come on. And then lying to people saying, we need comprehensive immigration reform before we can stop this invasion. And Trump comes in and stops it in the first month without any comprehensive immigration reform. Now, how does Trump do it and Joe Biden does it? Like Trump said, you didn't need new legislation. You just needed a new president. Well, now, y'all, this thing done got real. These that gonna be illegals are feeling themselves in America. We have such a debased government right now that the people that are over here illegally believe that they have a right to come in your house, put their feet on your furniture, eat the food out of your refrigerator, watch your television, sleep in your bed, take your ATM card and get your money out of the bank. Tell your children to shut up and sit down somewhere in your face. And when you tell them, look, man, you got to go, they say, I ain't going nowhere. And when you tell them, oh, you got to go, they're going to try to fight. And the worst thing about it is you got somebody in the house with you, probably your spouse, telling you, well, your spouse helping them fight. Helping them fight you. That's what's happening now in American cities. Look, y'all, we got a reason, a real reason, to not want to have illegals in this country. I mean, real reason. Did you know that 9/11, the biggest catastrophe on the American mainland ever? You know, Pearl Harbor was in Hawaii. 9/11 was in New York, in Manhattan, dude. The biggest catastrophe in American history was carried out by illegals. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, let me read it to you. Think I'm lying? I'm lying. I'm tripping. Illegals are called 9/11. Some people just ran the planes into the World Trade Center. All right, listen to me. I'm going to read it to you right here. The 9/11 attacks highlighted a vulnerability in the U.S. visa system. Some of the hijackers overstayed their visas, entering and remaining in the country illegally. Let me say that again. The 9/11 attacks highlighted a vulnerability in the U.S. visa system. Some of the hijackers overstayed their visas, entering and remaining in the country illegally. Specifically, at least 4 of the 19 hijackers had overstayed their visas, while others had presented false passports or made false statements on their visa applications. This revealed a flaw in the system that allowed individuals who had violated the terms of their visas to enter and remain in the U.S., raising concerns about the government's ability to effectively vet visitors and immigrants. Now, you think that the Democrats would have learned their lesson when you had 9/11 happen and you turn around and you see that the hijackers, many of them, were freaking illegals. You're supposed to say, well, man, we're going to fix this. We're not going to let illegals come to our country anymore. Heck no. That's over with. We're going to vet these people. We're going to make sure we know who they are. We're going to make sure that when they overstay their visas, they're going to leave. We're going to fix that. Oh, not the Democrats. They said 9/11, let's do some more 9/11s, man. So guess what they did? Open up the gates. We got people in this country from Iran. We got people in this country from China. We got people in this country from North Korea. We got people in this country from Ukraine. We got people all over the world that come through that southern border, man. You catch your flight to somewhere like Ecuador and make your trek up through Mexico, let you come on in. We don't know who lives in America right now. Donald Trump comes in. He runs on. We're going to have the biggest deportation in the history of the United States of America, history of the world. You might say a lot of things about Donald Trump, but that joker never lied one time about what he was going to do when he was running on the campaign trail. That joker said, we're going to deport the illegals. They are deporting the illegals. He said we was going to deal with Iran. We're dealing with Iran. He said we was going to deal with all this transgender woke crap. He's dealing with transgender woke crap. He said we're going to deal with DEI. He's dealing with DEI. He did not lie. He said he's going to try to get men out of women's sports. He's doing that. You might say a lot of things about him. He said he was going to pardon all the 9/11, I mean, not 9/11, the January 6th hostages. He said he was going to pardon them. He did. These things are not surprises. He told you what he was going to do. And now people are mad that he's doing it. So, okay. Now, why do Democrats want these illegals in the country?
Sir?
Yes.
I understand the boycott against Target, against DEI.
Yes.
But why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens if illegal aliens disproportionately affect the black community jobs?
Say that one more time.
Why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens when illegal aliens disproportionately negatively affect the black community?
Yeah, that's not true.
It is true.
Next question.
They take jobs, right? But they take your jobs.
Next question.
Legal.
Let me offer.
Nothing?
Thank you so much for coming out today.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
This is the Rainbow Push Annual Conference.
I mean, if you want to support
People's Conference
black
of
jobs,
Call to Action.
you don't support illegal aliens coming
We
in and
started this morning
undercutting
with the
black jobs. It
minimum
doesn't make
give
sense
them
though, right?
policies to level the economic
I mean,
educational
we gotta-
playing fields.
I mean, it just doesn't
You're
make
welcome
sense.
to
So,
join me, the comedian, Christian comedian.
excuse me.
Move on with Darius Brooks and Uplifted by Jacqueline
No
Carr
answer to the question,
to
but
end
that
the evening.
everybody,
You're
anybody
welcome
involved
here.
with
It is
this,
free admission. So please
and
come
I'll
and sojourn with
answer
us.
the question for you
Pray with us.
because it doesn't matter about black jobs. This is about raising money for their coalition. They don't actually do things to support the black community because if they did, they'd be working to stop black on black violence.
George C. Fraser.
But what they want to do is continue DEI, continue making excuses, continue victim mentality instead of setting people free. That's what that is. To the point where they're praying to the Holy Spirit for abortion, for homosexuality, and for illegal aliens. You talk about deception. The devil is the deceiver, and he has deceived this group of people, sadly. Pray for them. In Jesus' name.
That's what they want to do. It's very simple, y'all. The South, the North, the northern states, the blue states, are bleeding citizens. Taxes are too high, so the rich people are leaving. Crime is too high, so the law-abiding people are leaving. They don't like babies, so they're giving women an incentive to abort their children. The red states don't do that. South Carolina, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, nope, don't do that. Are the ones who are born, they make sure they take the fathers away so they can sexually groom them. And because of that, and they support LGBTQ, they're not having any children. And they're not getting married. Because women don't want to marry effeminate men. And effeminate men sure don't want to marry women. Thugs don't have to marry the women because, as the old folks used to say, why would you buy the cow if you can why would you buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? So they've created this hookup culture where the young ladies got a body count on them, and no good man wants them. So all of these people are leaving. And then you got the murder rate, where jokers just getting shot. And the ones that are not getting shot, you're getting their legs blown off, they're in wheelchairs. You got one leg, man. If you don't have that, then you got the drug thing going on up there. These suckers, these Democrats have even got safe injection centers where you can go into a dope house and inject your drugs without having to worry about the police messing with you. And then they will give you clean needles to inject the drugs with. They'll tell you if you want to get down with the get down, they'll give you HIV PrEP for free. They'll give you birth control for free to make sure you don't have children. And then when all of that fails, they'll give you medication for the rest of your life for HIV. And you wonder why good people are leaving? So, good people are leaving these northern hellholes, right? I mean, it's like Mad Max times up there. You ever seen the Mad Max movies? It's Mad Max, man. So everybody that can get out, getting out. Even the rappers talking about, I got love for the streets, man. I got love for the street. Psh. The first down those suckers get, they gone. They'll come back to the streets like once every 4 or 5 years and bring the cameras with them and do a rap video like they hard, they saying on the street, and then they get right back in the limousine and fall right back down to the... I had a brother of mine in Atlanta. He called me mad. He said, man, Cardi B has just moved behind me. Hard Offset. I said, that goes neighborhood, man. He didn't stay in Atlanta long after that. He left out. Yeah, I always say, we'll talk about they got love for the street. Shh. The brothers get out as quick as they possibly can. Every last one. And they come to a place that is safe. Now, because of that, LA, Chicago, New York, Boston, Milwaukee, sure enough Detroit, they're all losing bodies. Why is that important? This is why it's important. Every 10 years, every year ending in 0, the last time it was done was 2020. The Constitution demands that America conduct a census. We have 435 members in the House of Representatives. They are not going to expand that number. So they draw congressional districts based upon where the people are. The more people that are in an area, the more congressional districts they get. They'll look at the population and they will divide the population by 435. The last census, South Carolina gained a congressperson. Florida gained. Tennessee gained. Texas gained a lot of them. They're expecting the South to gain more in the 2030 census if the population keeps evolving the way it is. Why? Tennessee has no income tax. Florida has no income tax. Texas has no income tax. Oklahoma now says it doesn't have an income tax. And if you happen to be a person that is spending a whole lot of money on income like you do in Texas, like you do inside of New York, Having no income tax looks very good. So if you're spending $1 million a year on income taxes, and Tennessee says, I mean, if you spend $100,000 a year on income taxes, say that you make $1 million a year, and you're spending 10%, you got a 10% income tax in a state. And Tennessee says, you come down here, you don't have to spend any income tax. Florida says it. You're coming to those states. And when they come there and they bleed into those states, those districts usually stay red. Now, the census says you don't count citizens, you count bodies. Donald Trump took them to the Supreme Court to try to say no count citizens. Supreme Court said if you want to get that done, you got to change the Constitution. The Constitution says you count bodies. And the Democrats said, oh, well, how do we get the bodies up here? Two things. Open up the border, have a sanctuary city. So you open up the border, and then you send, and then you have Chicago and New York and LA and San Francisco say, hey guys, if y'all come up here from Texas, we'll give you free medical care, we'll give you free food, we'll give you free housing, all this free stuff. Come on to Chicago. And there you have it. And they're also playing the long game. And they say once these people get here, if they have a child, according to the Constitution, 14th Amendment, this child becomes a citizen because they're born in America. And America is usually reluctant to deport an American citizen, even if their mama and daddy is illegal. They usually will allow those parents to stay because the child is a citizen. Donald Trump says we're going to put an end to that. So what he's doing, he's taking the birthright citizenship thing to the Supreme Court. That's number one. And number two, Donald Trump is saying, I'm going to deport you anyway. You can decide to take your child with you if you want to. You don't have to deport the child. But hey, because the Democrats, y'all separating families. You're separating families. You're separating families. And and I tell him, no, I'm not separating anybody. When he decided to come over here illegally, he decided to separate his family. It wasn't me. I mean, just like, take Quayshawn out there, he go to jail, and you say, you separating his family. I don't say that. You say, no, take Quayshawn decided to separate himself when he decided to sell them rocks on the street. Well, you arrested Billy Bob. You're separating yourself. Now, Billy Bob decided to separate himself when he decided to set up that moonshine still. When these illegals decided to come into this country illegally, they decided to separate themselves. So they mad now. And Trump has said, we're going to put them all on the bus. We're going to send them back. And he started doing a real good job, and these Democrats lost their mind. Because look, y'all, to the Democrats, this is just like slavery. Let me explain. Man, the Democrats had black folks down here picking cotton. Them lazy white Democrats wasn't going to work in the sun picking cotton. Hard work. Rough work. And they said, without slave labor, we don't survive. Abraham Lincoln comes up, just says, I don't want to spread slavery. They look at the map of the United States of America. Man, United States of America it's manifest destiny, y'all. We've taken over the whole continent. And they said, look, man, if we don't demand that slavery is expanded, the Union is going to have many more states than we're going to have. They're going to have more representation in the federal government than we'll have. And in the future, they're going to end slavery just by a vote. And Abraham Lincoln is trying to set that up right now. It's a long game. The Democrats believe that sooner or later, something miraculous is going to happen. And either the Supreme Court or some crazy federal judge or somebody is going to give these illegals citizenship, and they're going to be allowed the right to vote, and they believe then it's going to be checkmate. Now, they thought that was going to happen with Hillary Clinton because Think about if Hillary Clinton had gotten in and they put the 3 Supreme Court justices on the court like Trump did. Wow. They would have had what they wanted. But it didn't happen. Trump came in, tore up all of their plans. But they're still playing the long game. So now they're playing the census game, the congressional district game, to try to get power in Congress, and then they can have the money appropriated to their bankrupt blue states and blue cities. That's the game. So in the same way that they needed slaves, black people, to make sure their cotton is picked, they need illegals to make sure that they can rob all of us through congressional appropriation. So that when the Congress comes in and it's time to vote for where that $8 trillion is going to go, they can bail out these these blue states, these blue cities. The Congress can demand that they get all the Medicaid they need, all the SNAP they need, all the Section 8 that they need. They can make sure that the terrible school system is still funded where they're spending $25,000 per child and there's no school choice. They can make sure with the Congress that they can still sexually groom children and give sex change operations federally paid for. They can make sure that they can still get abortions paid for with federal money. Yeah. They can make sure that they can open that border back up and allow everybody else to come back in here. They don't care about a 9/11. They don't care about 15 9/11s, as long as they keep power in Washington. So now they have this charade going on in all these cities. And I know y'all have seen online the viral Tik Tok videos and Facebook and Instagram where these people are saying they are paid agitators, where the Democrats are paying them. Look, we have an invasion and the Democratic Party is on the side of the invaders, y'all. Doesn't that tell you something? They've always been a party of rebellion, extra-constitutionalism, hatred, and destruction. From the civil rights movement to the labor movements to George Floyd, it's always them. And they like to point at January 6th like it was such a bad thing. Only had a few broken windows. The only person that got shot on that day was actually Babbitt. They made January 6th look like it was Pearl Harbor, and it wasn't. Black Lives Matter riots, close to 40 people died. Billions of dollars of damage. Right now, inside of Los Angeles, Trump sent in the National Guard. You know why? And these people act like they don't understand this very basic concept. It's very simple, y'all. There was an ICE facility there. ICE is a federal government entity. Same with Lincoln and Fort Sumter. It was a federal government fort. ICE is federal law enforcement. It's placed in a city. Usually the police protect all the assets in the city. Karen Bass, the stupid, ignorant, black Democrat mayor of Los Angeles, basically told the LAPD to stand down, to use limited force. People writing graffiti on the ICE thing, they're breaking up, they're tearing up stuff. Matter of fact, up in New Jersey, this black congresswoman just got charges put on. Her name is LaMonica MacGyver or something like that. She went up there, they trying to break in the ICE facility up there. I heard the mayor of Newark and a bunch of Democrats, she's trying to break in the facility, man. And some broke out of that facility. I think 4 escaped. So you got illegals in the United States of America actually in the street protesting under a foreign flag. Number one, you don't have a right to be here, which means you are here illegally. And if you're here illegally, you ain't got no right to protest. But if you're here illegally, you definitely have the right to protest. And I wish Donald Trump would come there with a paddy wagon. I wish he would have buses lined up 10 miles down the street and get the National Guard and the Marines to put all their butts in that bus, turn around and take them right back down to Mexico and whoop them in the process. So Trump comes in and he says, hey, Karen Bass and Grooming Gavin Newsom, you need to call him Grooming Gavin Newsom. Grooming Gavin, y'all going to make sure that ICE facility is taken care of down there? Well, if we feel like it. Trump said, if you feel like it. All people all around the ICE facility raising hell, throwing stuff at the ICE guys. I mean, they're not equipped to deal with this. Karen Bass is hearing and hawing about making the police make these people go away. Trump said, I got something for you. He just nationalized the National Guard, sent them in there to clear that mess out. When it got too tough for the National Guard, he said, I'm going to send Marines in. He had every right to do it because a federal installation under his care and his jurisdiction was being threatened. Now, a judge just came in and ruled that Trump took the National Guard away from Gavin Newsom, grooming Gavin Newsom, because he grooms children in the California public educational system. He's a groomer, That Trump took those National Guard troops away illegally. But now an appeals court has said they want to hear the case to see if this federal judge's, if his opinion was sound. So as of this podcast, Trump still has control of the National Guard in California because the mayor, Sharon Bass, and grooming Gavin Newsom would not protect a federal ICE installation. And now you saw over the weekend that they have this No King's Day thing. We're trying to say Donald Trump's a king. And they're going to protest all over America the fact that the federal government is doing what it's supposed to do, that the federal government is obeying the law. You have lawbreakers demanding that the laws not be followed, that America has become such a debased country, that the Democrats are such a debased party, that they are now in an act of rebellion, siding with invaders, demanding that the laws of the United States of America not be carried out. Have you ever seen anything like this before in your life, where you have a political party? Y'all, this is treachery. This is the very definition of traitor. People have invaded the country, and instead of you jumping with the government and fighting to run these people out, the law says if you, and I don't, you know what? I get tired of hearing these people say, well, we're going to run out all of the illegals that are here who are involved in criminal activity. Hell no. If you're illegally, you're supposed to be gone. Come in the country right. That's why every house has a front door so you can knock on it. Because if they catch you coming in my window, I'm going to blow you out of it. You have sinister intent. And I have a right to assume that if you're coming through my window, you're coming in to do something that's not right. They're murdering, they're killing, and they're raping people. Well, we found out that the illegals have a lower crime rate than the citizens. I don't care. If they're doing one crime, it would be a crime that would not be committed if we did what we were supposed to do as a federal government. I don't care if it's one. But here's the good thing, y'all. The great Muhammad Ali said, it is nothing better after he defeated George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle, greatest boxing match probably in history, where he laid on the rope to dope and allowed Foreman to beat himself out. And then Ali knocked him out in the 8th round. It's nothing better. Nothing better than to have your opponent participate in his own butt whipping. And that is what the Democrats are doing. The American people have said, we don't care if they've committed crimes or not. If you're here illegally, you need to be gone. Isn't that easy? Isn't that what the law says? Isn't that the law? If you don't like the law, change it. As Ulysses S. Grant said, the greatest remedy to noxious law is their absolute enforcement. And if the people don't like it, let them change it. But as long as that law is on the book, it will be enforced. We have to obey the law. I mean, I can't drive down the street without thinking the police going to come and pull me over for something and give me a ticket. Don't pay your taxes and see what happens. We American citizens have to obey the law, but illegals can do whatever the hell. They ain't got to obey the law. And then you give them money for not obeying it. And people are tired of it. So now this weekend they got a No King's Day. No King's Day. The fact that the President of the United States of America is enforcing the law makes him a king? Y'all, this is the Tocqueville syndrome in full effect. The more you give them, the more they want. And then they get to a point that when you start trying to make them do right, they want to rebel and they want to fight. This is what you get. I learned that as a correctional officer. You can't be sometimey. Every day. Every day. With your children, same thing. Make your bed up before you leave the house. Go to bed at a certain time. Do your homework. Eat at a certain time. You better not talk back to me. Every day. Not sometimey. The laws are here to be enforced. If you don't like the laws, change them. But the Democratic Party has always been a party of rebellion. So right now, we need to put the Democratic Party under the Mexican flag and under the flag of Palestine, because that seems to be who they are bowing to. The Palestinians and the Mexicans. The cartels are now telling the Democratic Party what to do. They are their funding source. It's not the American people. It's cartels. So this is their last gasp, y'all. The last gasp of the Democratic Party. If they don't stop this, if they don't get you guys upset, and just like my good friend, Patrick Bet-David said, they're looking for, and sadly, they're looking for another George Floyd. They want Donald Trump, and they want the troops. They want the Marines. They want them to kill somebody. They look for a martyr. Same thing in the civil rights movement. Oh, when they finally killed Swarna Goodman and Cheney, the civil rights movement was happy. When they blew up those 4 little girls, they were happy. They were looking for martyrs. So I want the Marines to be careful. I want the police to be careful, because if you kill somebody, they're going to make that person a bigger, oh man, they're going to put them on the screen, and they're going to tell everybody, look who Donald Trump killed. They're looking for martyrs. They're good at that. They're good at burning cities. They're good at going in the streets raising hell. The Democratic Party is an evil institution. The evilest institution in the history of the world. The Democratic Party hates everything that's good. They're siding with the invaders. They are traitors to America. I've always told you that. They're siding with the people that hate this country. But the good thing about it is, guys, because these crazy, ignorant traitors run the Democratic Party, because these ignorant people are the ones that are giving money to the party has to take this stand, and it's going to destroy them in the future. As Muhammad Ali said, there's nothing better than having an opponent participate in their own butt whipping, and the Democratic Party is participating in their own butt whipping right now. Winston Churchill said, if you see your opponent drowning, your enemy drowning, don't throw him a life raft. We're not throwing him a life raft. We're letting the people look at this, and we're telling them, look at this. This is your party. Party of traitors, a party of ingrates, a rebellious, disrespectful, hate America party. They side with people that burn the flag. They side with foreign nations. They side with people that come and take jobs from you, that make rents go high, that take benefits from you, that bring drugs and crime in your communities. That's who they are. And they are going to pay for it in 2026, and I can't wait. And I'm going to keep bringing this to you because I'm here to wake you up. So subscribe, comment, like this, because we chased 100,000. And I hope I did you some good today. So come join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website, and on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts, we're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it, make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good, and it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.